What's it? Push up every day. Push up every day. Push up every day. Push up every day.
Good day, good people. Hope everybody's well, man. Welcome to another episode, man. Welcome to The Hustle Continues. I want to speak about something that comes up a lot. That comes up a lot. I think everybody always asks themselves this question. And I think I get it a lot from a lot of people as well. Where people want to quit their jobs to go into business. And a lot of people want to know if it's a good or a bad decision. And every time I'm confronted with that question, my approach is always the why. Why do you want to quit your job, and why do you feel you'll find fulfillment in business? Are you a businessman? Have you always been a businessman, or is this a trend that you're following? Is there something that you're seeing that's attracting you there? And look, a lot of times it's money. A lot of times it's money because people have a perception that you will never be rich working for somebody else, and you will never be rich while in corporate. Look, that brings out a lot of questions as to what rich is, or what being rich is. And I think that's where I find myself extremely confused, because being rich is relative. Someone can say, I can afford my house, I can afford my car or two, my kids go to good schools, I can buy nice clothes, I've got entertainment money, I've put some savings aside, I've got one or two investments, therefore I'm rich. And then somebody can say, can start to put names behind a car, school, house. For example, someone will say, I drive 2 BMWs, 2 V8s, you understand what I'm trying to say? I live at Stain City, I live at Waterfall, I live at Zimbali. They start putting names behind these things. It's not just about I've got 2 houses, but it's about the address. It's not just about I got clothes on my bag and my kids got clothes on their bag. It's about I got Louis Vuitton, I got Gucci. It's about the names now. And we can put that in pretty much everything. And to them, that's the wealth. That's the riches. That's the riches. If I can afford luxury, if I can afford brands or luxury brands, then I'm rich. And then you find others that are not even into luxury brands, but they got, like I said in another episode, the nice thing about money is that it's quantifiable. So if you really had to quantify how much someone has versus another, you would easily be able to distinguish between the two. But the point I'm trying to make is you might find that when it comes down to the math or to the accounting, the one that's richer than the other is less flashier than the other. They wear less brands. You can't tell by just looking at them that they're rich. So that happens a lot too. But not deviating from the subject, people want to leave their employment to go into business because of the perception that there is wealth in self-employment. Now, I've had the pleasure of being employed in corporate, and I've had the pleasure of being self-employed. Now, the question to me is, Debza, you've done both. What works? And my answer to you is, do not leave your employment for the reason of being rich. You get what I'm trying to say? Leave it for other reasons. Leave it for unhappiness, or, maybe you are honestly, genuinely just getting paid very little, or you are outliving your salary. Maybe you might need to look at your lifestyle. Hence I always preach lifestyle. But don't leave for this for the reason of thinking of riches, because. And the reason I'm saying this is I know a lot of entrepreneurs, and a lot of them are not rich. They're struggling. They are struggling to a point where they'll get an order somewhere to do a job, and they'll be on the phone. There's a order 100,000. Whoever, I've got this order, I've got this tender, I've got this thing, I need to do this job, it's gonna cost 50,000 rand to do. I don't have the 50,000 rand. I'm talking about business people who don't even have money to do their own job, to do the work they've been given, to complete projects. And I know a lot. They're not broke. But as they say, businesses like this, it's up and down. There's no consistency until you get to a certain point of consistency. Consistency in business is something you have to work for consistently. Up until you reach consistency. You consistently have to put in the effort to ensure that you get to consistency. So, do not quit your job. Do not quit your job with prospects of riches. I'd rather quit my job because I'm not happy. I'm just not happy. Maybe I'm working in an industry that I didn't sign up for, really. I studied accounting, and now I'm working in marketing, and I really love accounting, and this marketing is depressing me. You get what I'm trying to say? It's where it's not about the money, but more personal and emotional satisfaction, rather. But do not quit with the prospects of being rich. And in contrast to that, I've got rich friends who have never started a business in their lives, who have been employed in corporate all their lives. When I say rich, I'm saying friends that can go buy a sports car cash for over R1 million. Friends who can go buy property cash. When friends who have very nice packages at work, very nice packages, top exec levels, share options, this, that. When the company performs well, their bonuses are something else. Their bonuses alone are enough to pay some people's salaries for the year. These are people that have never, they're running other people's businesses, yes, because that's what you do when you're employed in corporate. But they've never left to say, I'm going to start this. And I've seen a lot that live like that. Also, you need to look at the pros and cons. A lot of people I know that are self-employed don't have medical aid. don't have provident fund. You know, they don't have the things that corporate does for you. You know, corporate takes care of you. You know, you need to always think about such. You need to always think about such, because we cannot ignore all those things. It is a part of life. You know, I'm going to try today not to talk about how us business people tend to waste money in trying to prove that we are business people. You know, how when we get to social places, we want to look a certain way, we want to drink certain drinks, we want to, you understand what I'm trying to say? I just want to speak about the normal when no one is watching kind of life. A lot of self-employed people, not because they cannot afford, it is just not embedded in them to take care of themselves like that, you know, because usually corporate does that. You don't even think about it. When you go into work for a big corporate, Coca-Cola or whatever, you know, you get there to HR and you sign a lot of papers, sign your employment contract, and you sign all their policies, you sign a lot of things, you know. There your provident is there your whatever perks you've got, you know. When you die tomorrow, your family can phone that company and there'll be some payout, you know, that they just put a claim. When you leave that company to go to another company, you can claim your provident fund, you know, those kind of things. When you get sick, or once you've joined that company, all of a sudden they give you a medical aid. You know, look, part of it is deducted from your salary and whatnot, and they pay the other half, but it is taken care of. You know, if you've got kids, you know that they're covered. If you've got a family, a wife, everybody is in your medical aid, or husband, or whatever the case is. A lot of people in corporate that are self-employed don't have any of that shit. Don't have it. I've asked them, you know, those I know, a lot of them that I know a lot. Now, what's wealth when you ain't even taking care of your eventualities? You know, what if? You know, and I'm not talking this because I'm from an insurance background as well or whatever. No, I'm just saying, what is rich? What is rich? Because a lot of self-employed people still finance their vehicles, still finance their lifestyles. You know, and it's not a lot of them who buy those fancy cars cash. It's not a lot of. The only thing they buy cash is the alcohol. You know, only thing they buy cash is the alcohol and the clothes. But what I'm saying is, do not quit your job for riches. Quit your job. I mean, let me tell you instances where I've only had one instance where I quit the job. You know, I've only had one instance where I quit the job. My first corporate job, I got fired. So I didn't quit. So when I went back into business, I had no option. When I started earning money, it was because I was self-employed. But my first corporate job, I got fired. I quit my second corporate job, which was Liberty Life. The only job I quit, Shane. And I did well at it. But the aim was to go there and raise money. You know, and I did. And I think the reason, when I knew that it was time now, I was getting a lot of lapses. You know, So a lapse is where I've signed you up for a policy and you stop paying, and that policy lapses. We used to have to pay back the commission on such. And when they come dealing at it was a sign for me that, you know what, I don't think I'm managing my accounts correctly now. My mind is not here no more. You know, I think this is time. So that's why I quit. You know, I've always believed there's time. I'm that kind of person who've always believed, no, there is time to still do this. There's time to do that. I'll get to that when I do. But for now, let me focus on this. I've never rushed a lot of things. So I was still cool there, except for when the lapses came, for me, it became a sign. I always love to read the signs. I always take a step back and say, yo, what's going on now? And I like, nah, maybe it is time. And that's why I left. And my third and last corporate job, I got retrenched. And that's when I started Nungu. So me, I've never really quit and said, I'm quitting because there's bigger prospects of wealth elsewhere, I've always believed that even within corporate, you can grow, you can grow, and that's a nice thing about corporate. There's a lot of room for growth. You can grow within the safety of corporate and the cushion of corporate, and you can grow to live a very good life, be upper middle class. The upper middle class in South Africa is made up of employed people. Without them, there isn't. Trust me. I'm not saying entrepreneurs are not. We are. But there isn't a lot of us. And it's not easy, because here you take care of yourself from day one with everything. So my advice to you would be like a monkey. Never let go of the one branch until you have a very good grip on the next branch. Hear that? Never let go of the one branch until you have a very good grip on the next branch. So if you really feel that you've got a passion in business and you really are passionate about what you want to go into, do both. Start your business while you're still employed. I registered my current business while I was still employed, before I got retrenched, because I could see where we're going. I could see it wasn't a surprise. I could see that the company that had employed me was struggling in the country, and they had no intentions of investing further in the country at the time. So I knew that it's a matter of when. So I had already started preparing to say, look, let me register this and start trying to gather a certain direction, so that when that day comes, I know this is where I'm moving. Nothing else. Hey, the sun is in my eyes. It's direct. I chose the wrong time to do this. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say, Don't look at the others and say, look, it's easier there. It's very difficult. It's extremely difficult. It's extremely difficult not only to get business, not only to run the business, but also if you become lucky and you know how to run it and you know how to get it, managing the money, trying to treat your business like a job, like every day, like me. Now I'm actually off to work right now, So, and it's an everyday thing. I'm actually late, So yeah. I hope I answer your question. Do both. Once you've got traction on the other, you can let go of the one. And especially if you've got responsibilities. I remember the one guy who had a good job. His wife had a good job. He used to look up to me a lot. He was actually a client of mine. And every time I would come to the company where he was working, because they were my client, he would tell me how much I inspire him. And one day he came to me to tell me that he has quit and that his wife had quit too, or was in the process of quitting. And I said to him, look, don't let the wife quit. If you've already quit, you could have started this thing while you're still there, but since you've quit, don't tell the wife not to quit. But he was like, nah, Tebza, we if you said to me the only way is to go both feet in it, But we were talking about something else when I said that, But yes, I did say that, and they quit. I think it was sad because 8 months down the line, he had an Audi A6, the wife had an Audi A4. They both got repoed. Sheriffs wanted to attach their property, their home. It was a sad case when he was telling me the story, man, and I mean, that's just one story. I know a lot, I know a lot that told me personally, that came to me to say, how did you get out of debt? How did you maneuver? But by that time, it's too late. You're talking to me when shit is already falling, when shit is already hitting the fan, when everything is just falling apart, where you just have to let it fall and pick yourself up again, because you can't catch it when it's falling like that, Where you say to people, take it a step at a time, dog. One thing I've also learned is that depending what job you work or what industry you're in, the people that you might think like you will like you because of that job, because of that position that you have currently in that position. I think I made an example in one of the episodes where I was speaking about the Project 100, where I used to work a cool job at SAB and everybody liked me, and when I left, everybody alienated me or deserted me. You get what I'm trying to say? So a lot of people are like that. You find that you quit your job with the hope that all these people that love you are going to support you, or even internally there, you speak to a friend and say, dude, I'm going to quit. We're not on fast planning and we're going to do this. The minute you're out. You're out in the cold. They don't care about you. Now all of a sudden, he surprises you. You see different colors now. You see true colors, of this individual that's supposed to be working with you, You get a lot of surprises. Hence, I always say, start the thing first. Start the thing first, especially if you have something. Unless it's a really, really, really bad situation where you have to quit. Not necessarily you quitting because you're going into the other thing, Because nothing is promised, and the people are not trustworthy. So you have to really get into the market first. Try and get 1 or 2 payments. Try and see that it's working. Then be able to make a call and say, look, my time won't allow me to do both because I've got conflict of interest on the other side and blah, blah, blah. Or this is suffering. Or they're both suffering. So let me choose one. I hope I've given you some light. But don't get off the boat and try to walk on water. You're not Jesus. Still get a rowboat. Still get a rescue boat. If you like, you know what to do. Hit subscribe. Tell a friend. Ciao.